So, a question which Gareth Walters has passed me, and I believe you know Gareth, is can you tell, or can you ask Mike about the El Bulli type molecular gastronomy which you brought to Dubai? How did you come up with the concept and the results?
Oh, that was an interesting one, and it's again trying to fit or what a reason is for an alliance or a concept at this stage. And with the El Bulli, it was we didn't form an alliance with someone. We were inspired by them, and I don't know how much you know about molecular gastronomy. It was a big in thing at one stage, and the beauty, I love the concept of molecular gastronomy. I mean, not everyone was sold on it, and the foam and various aspects of it, but it really went into the senses. The crunch of something, and the taste of something, and the look of something, and the mix and the fusion of tastes, and I just love the concept of it. And anyway, we had I think you all know in Dubai, Minas Yaki, so we obviously had Rusty Bar, and we had the Meridian Hotel. And in essence, the Meridian Hotel we sold as a 5-star hotel, but looked like a 4-star hotel. Yeah, just by the nature of the size of the rooms, the lack of type of restaurants, number of restaurants. We only had one real big restaurant, and then we had this one small area which we couldn't do much with and make a profit. So we created a concept in the beginning to try and lift the hotel, and we had the magnificent grounds. We probably had the nicest, with the infinity pool, and all the layered gardens going down to the pool. So we had a 6 or 7-star ground landscape, and then we had this sort of 3-4-star building, and then we had I guess I'd like to say our product was sort of pretty 5-star, but not without the variety. So anyway, we created one restaurant, and whatever was the latest in the world. So whatever the latest concept in the world was, that was it. So that just gave us a cutting edge. We were ahead of everyone else. So you had all these, the huge money. Some of the hotels were billions had been spent on them. And we were and here we had this sort of 4-star building, and we were just cutting edge. Our one restaurant was what was the latest. And so the first time when we opened Conran restaurants, I don't know how well you know Conran restaurants.
Yeah.
And Conran was leading culinary thing. And the UK, funnily enough, has led. I mean, the French, everyone talks about the French, and the French certainly, their sauces and their food is historic, but historic being the word, And the UK chefs have really led the culinary world for quite a long time. And I've always believed this in food and beverage. If you want to get the latest concepts, you go to London. And if you want to get the latest razzmatazz, you go to Las Vegas, because Las Vegas, they can experiment as well. So much money was coming in with gambling that they're in a position to experiment with concepts as opposed to food. And you get the most fantastic concepts out of Las Vegas. So I believe everyone in the hospitality industry should go to Las Vegas at least once every 2 or 3 years, just to see what's the latest.
The ideas, yeah.
Anyway, so that was our concept. As Conran started fading, El Bulli started coming in, and not necessarily El Bulli as a concept, but aspects of El Bulli food. And El Bulli was open 3 months of the year, and the rest of the year they created concept. And a lot of it went into the industrial world, so or commercial catering world. So freezing with the what's the chemical freezing, and that went into the fishing industry. And then creating balls and spheres of taste, with licorice and raspberry and everything. That went into, you get these bubble rooms or bubble tea. That sort of came from their concept of being able to do it. It was fascinating. So that was a concept, and that's where we did it. And I said we inspired. We used their books, and we created this, and that's where it was. Now, in some cases, you would do it as a collaboration, and other cases you'd be inspired by and try and recreate your own.
Yeah. And you know what I love about that is what we were talking about earlier about the vast amounts of size available at the moment and what do you do? And then your issue at the time was a small room which you didn't know what to do with. So it was like coming up with the concept which works in this smaller type room, which actually just took off.
Well, the two aspects to it. One was that, and because of the size, it was never going to make a lot of money. But the other more important aspect of it was we needed something to lift the profile of the hotel. We
Yes.
had this very ordinary building, and here we were bringing the latest concept in. And
And yeah,
I mean, at one stage we were going to put a microbrewery in there, believe it or not, and that would have been a first for the region.
yeah.
And
Again, it's
that
going.
in the end didn't happen. But again, that's the thing. And we went and collaborated again. There we collaborated, and we took in Ciro's Pomodoro. I don't know if you ever remember Ciro's Pomodoro, which became a fantastic success. That was a London Italian restaurant, music, entertainment, and they did a fusion Italian Lebanese concept, which was remarkably successful. So again, but entertainment, lifestyle, lots of action. So one side we had the Barasti going mad with the busiest bar in the world, and then we had for the Lebanese community, we had this most fantastic sort of semi nightclub, pizzeria, a real fusion concept. And then we had the latest, whatever the latest food in the world was upstairs. So they worked well. They gelled, and I mean, I think everyone knows the queues that we would have going
Yeah,
around the block to try and get in.
it's fascinating, and it's all about the experience, which is what we're talking about. It has to have an experience. So I love that. So